everyone, it's Morgan from Maggie's Comics, and today I'm going to show you some books that I've collected under less than a month. I've bought a lot of books in a very short time, and I'm going to show them all. And I have to tell you I'm sorry because of my bad English. I'm from Sweden, and I haven't spoken English in many years. So let's begin. First of all, Maggie the Mechanic, a Love and Rockets book by Jamie Hernandez. And all of the books I'm going to show you I've already read. I read them as fast as I get them, really. But this one I haven't. It's so much to read, and it's not that interesting, so it takes a while. It's kind of thick, and I'm going to show you how much it's really a lot of text, and it's really not my kind of thing. If I wanted a lot of text, I would read a normal book, but I'm very interested in art and illustrations. I really like the drawing style in this, but I'm not in love with the story. It's so naive and stereotype characters, and yeah, I have only read just very little, so maybe I will change my mind, but so far not my kind of cup of tea, as you say. Next one, BPRD by Mike Mignola. There are some different artists inside this. It's 1946 to 1948, and the artists are John Arcudi, Joshua Dysart, Paul Sassetta, Gabriel Ba, Fabio Moon, Max Fioromara, Dave Stewart. And at the beginning is the best artist, and then it just goes downhill from there. But the stories are really it's like a fairy tale story. No, it's not, but it's good. It's good. It's a good story. It's not my favorite story, but it's good. Then we have Lazarus, TPB, Volume 1. This is not my cup of tea either. I love sci-fi, but this didn't get me hooked, and I'm not ready to buy Volume 2. I might get more disappointed, really. And then we have This Is My Cup of Tea, Davy Boring by Daniel Klaus. I just love Daniel Klaus' illustrations, and his humor, and his this one is very resemblance to Charles Burns. Sorry, they're storytelling is kind of the same in this one. But I don't think the ending in this one is that good, really. It felt like it was unsatisfying, but still it's so deep, and it gets you thinking, and it's brain food, kind of. Not that it's necessarily intellectual. It just feeds you with philosophical questioning or something like that. Then we have Constantine. This I got really cheap, like $2 or something. It's volume 2, and it's new. Volume 4, sorry, The Apocalypse Road. Is the one. It's Constantine in the new 52 run, and I've heard so much bad about these stories, but I kind of liked it. I felt like it's still kind of twisted and like Hellblazer, and but the big change is it's been more mainstreamed and more action, kind of. It's not as philosophical as Hellblazer, but there is some vibes of the old school, kind of. I kind of liked it. The hope is not lost yet. And then we have Invincible, the deluxe edition by Grant Morrison. Oh, I don't know where to begin. I've heard so much good about this, and it wasn't my cup of tea yet, once again. First of all, I don't like how it's illustrated. It's very... I think it's very ugly, really. It's not... my god, it's so weird. So... I don't know. And I didn't get that much of the story, really. But who knows, maybe in a few years from now I will think this is a masterwork. You never know. But now I think it's kind of boring, really. And it's just overcomplicated and weird. And another Grant Morrison, it's Batman Gothic. And this is with Claes Jansson as illustrator. Claes Jansson. Claes Jansson. I love his drawings. They're very gothic. And I like the story as well. It's fitting for Batman to be in a kind of Hellblazer story. And that's what it is. It's kind of a Hellblazer story, but with Batman. And the Invisibles are kind of Hellblazer too, but it doesn't intrigue me. I love the character Constantine, and I want to follow him. The Invisibles I don't love and I don't like to follow, kind of. That's how I best explain this. And Batman I love, and it's interesting to see him in a Hellblazer kind of story. That's it. Yeah. And then we have the XFiles and 30 Days of Night. It's kind of a fusion between those. It's by IDW and it's published by IDW, and the artists are written by Steve Niles and Adam Jones and art by Tom Mandrake. And it's kind of okay, really. I thought it would be really lousy, but it's a good read, really. And I like 30 Days of Night with Ben Templesmith, and I kind of expected Ben Templesmith to be in this one too, but he is not. And but it wasn't that disappointing. And I got that really cheap. I wouldn't buy it otherwise. And then we have Superman, Men of Tomorrow, by Jeff Johns and John Romita Jr. Also Claes Jansson and Laura Martin. I thought this was really good too. I haven't read much of Superman, so this is like the most I've read from Superman so far, and I'm not disappointed. It's kind of good art, nice graphic coloring, and I like the bad guy in this story. I shouldn't tell you too much, but not disappointing. It was really cheap too, so win-win. And here we got some really deep shit. This is Paradise Lost in a graphic novel interpretation, kind of. And it's a classic made of John Milton. And now Pablo Oladell has, I don't know how to pronounce that name, Oladell. He has made a graphic novel of it, and it's so freaking beautiful, really freaking beautiful. It's like every frame is a big painting of coal and ink. It is, but really I didn't understand much of the text, and it's about Lucifer and how he falls from heaven, and he starts to plotting his revenge on God, and he thinks God has just created Adam and Eve, and they are in paradise, so he's supposed to he thinks that if he destroys them in some kind of way, he gets his revenge. And that's the story from the Bible with the snake and kind of the tree of knowledge and stuff. So I understood so far. It's just a complicated kind of word. I will read you something from it. For never can true reconcilement grow where wounds of deadly hate have pierced so deep. This knows my punisher. As far from granting it is he, as I from begging peace. So farewell, hope, and with hope farewell, fear, farewell, remorse. Evil be thou my good, by thee at least divided empire, with heaven's king I hold, as man ere long and this new world shall know. So yeah, it's kind of Shakespearean. if I should call it something. It's poetic, and it's really beautiful with those art. That artwork is really beautiful. My God, it's beautiful. And I showed it to my girlfriend, and she said, "What the hell? It looks awful." I guess. Well, she didn't like it. So it's kind of a individual conception, or what you call it. Then we have Art Schooled, and it's this by Jamie Coe, and it's Snowbro Press who has published it, and it is not. It's not the kind of a story that you. It's not a grand story. It's just if you're interested in going into art school, you could read this and kind of get the idea. I have gone to art school myself, and it's kind of like this book, but still some differences. There is those stereotypical people who go to art school, the weird hipster and those stuff, and this book points that out, how weird everyone is, and that's the downfall of this book, I think, because I don't like when people are judging because of how other people look or how they act or something like that. And the author himself points that out in the book, that he is judgmental. But so I don't think it makes it okay, but yeah, it's a nice book and it's beautiful art. I like this kind of art. It's like it reminds me a bit about Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So yeah, it's and I have to tell you, it's a really nice binding and beautiful hardcover. I don't think I have any hardcover this beautiful, really. So I'm currently looking for more no brow press graphic novels. And then we have this one. I think this is one of the best books I have here. I really love this one. And it's The Death Ray by Daniel Claus. I've really been looking for many Daniel Claus books because I'm in love with him. I'm in love with Daniel Claus and Charles Burns. They are my absolute favorites. And this one is about a guy who finds out that he gets superpowers by smoking a cigarette. And he has this idea of making stuff better with his new powers. And it's kind of mellow. Oh, I love this feeling you get from Daniel Claus. It's kind of humoristic, but still it's kind of dark. And that's really how I would put. Yeah, that's how I would explain this book. And there is one thing in this book I laughed my ass off, really. There is sometimes he just makes that great joke. Oh my God. And then we get to Charles Burns books. These are also, this is a trilogy with X'd Out, and then we have The Hive, and Sugar Skull. And these were really beautiful. And this is the same way I love with the same thing I love about Daniel Klaus I love with Charles Burns, because it's they kind of find the humor in darkness, and it's kind of this dry sense of humor, and still very serious. I feel like when I've read these three books, I carry it in the back of my neck. It's like it follows me everywhere I go, and I really love his artwork too. It's so, my God, I have a lot to learn from these guys, and I am going to buy everything. I say everything they publish. But some of the books are out of print and really expensive. And then we get to the last book, and this is the 100 Nights of Hero by Isabel Greenberg. It took me a while to read this book, to finish this book. I love the artwork. It's kind of sketchy and beautiful colors. And this is like a fairy tale book. If I had a daughter, my future daughter, when she is 10 years old or something, maybe older, I will read her this book, because I think it's a great thing for young women to read, young girls, because it's empowering the women. It's a story. It's stories about women and how strong they are, and and the book itself points out that the lead heroine is they are storytellers about women who are strong and won't take shit from anyone, kind of. And I have to say, I don't it doesn't make me feel like it's a great story, but it's I can feel that in some eyes it would be a masterful book, and I think it's a good it's a gift to the book world. That's how I see it. I think this book will make many people, it will give many people something. Sorry about these long reflections about these books, but I really just try to tell you as much as in as short time as possible. Yes, well, enough babbling from me. Thank you very much if you have watched this far. So thank you very much, and see you next time.